Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mythonics Live. So today we are watching The Baroque Hour, which is a criminally underrated analog horror series, which I've been planning to cover on my main channel for a while, but the creator has been remaking some of the old episodes, and I believe that they've finished remaking the episodes that they wanted to remake. I think. But either way, they've got a whole bunch of content here. If you are an analog horror fan, then you've got to go watch it. You've got to go watch it. And today we're going to go through the series, watching the remakes, and then so they've remade the first 3 episodes. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're just going to go after that. We'll go 4 onwards, right? So we'll watch it. We'll watch it in order and skip the ones that were remade because the creator wants to put the best foot forward, right? When we watched Mandela, we did compare the original to the new one, but we've already watched a bunch of these episodes on stream already anyway. So it might be interesting to actually compare them too. We'll see how much time we have. We'll see how much time we have left. But yes, so I'm very, very keen to watch this, to get back into this, because some of the moments in this series are some of my favorite in analog horror, particularly this one, Elections, has I think it's this one, has an amazing scene in it. So I'm very excited to see what the creator has done since then, because the last time I watched this, I believe that we got up to this remake, I think. Maybe it was this one. So there's quite a bit of content, new content afterwards too, that I'm pretty excited to get into. And like a 30-minute whopper, 11-minute, 30-minute whopper, another 10 minutes. Let's go, bros. I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited to get back into this, and I've been looking forward to it for a while. I don't know what's happening on the Instagram. I didn't know that they had an Instagram. So how should I... Okay, that's it. How should I use this Instagram thing? That's a good question. How would an analog horror person use an Instagram? I guess you could just do clips from your videos and put them up there. Little moments, right? Or actually, I think some people have actually run horror through like Instagram and TikTok and whatnot. Anyway, we're here to watch. We'll watch the remakes first, and then we'll go from 4 onwards. Okay. Hope you're ready. Let's just pause this music. Right, ready to go. And we're watching The Baroque Hour, Episode 1, Autumn. Actually, I think the series is actually called Orpheus. It's by The Baroque Hour.
On a job like mine, I can't slow down for a cold.
Oh, I know.
Cold medicine that makes me drowsy. That's why I count on Sudafed.
Sudafed starts to work in as quick as 22 minutes without drowsiness. It's the fast-acting cold medicine.
It won't slow you down. Good evening, and welcome.
It won't slow you down. Is that true?
It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Now presenting The Baroque Hour.
Wait, hang on.
Your night.
Hang on. What was that?
Baroque Hour.
Give us your blood at 2 a.m. Okay. We can do that. Orpheus.
Enjoy your night.
Oh, that was ominous. Okay.
Today at the Baroque Hour. Autumn by Antonio Vivaldi. Enjoy your music.
I will. Crunchy, we love it. The 4 seasons, autumn. I wonder why autumn in particular. Oh, he's evil. He's got the German face. No. How this would be so freaky to see in the middle of the night, though, wouldn't it? Imagine like waking up on the couch and seeing this. That'd be terrifying. Ooh. Okay, that little jump scare actually got me. All right, it's creepy. It's creepy. It's creepy. Oh, I kind of don't like it. Okay. Interesting. It autoplayed to the next one. Not bad. I did like that. I do think that the skipping is very overplayed these days. Very overplayed. When did this come out, actually? So this was a year and a half ago. I would say it was probably overplayed then too, to be honest. The skipping, I did like that ending scene. Pretty good. Once it hit this point, pretty good. Just solid. Like nothing super unique, but just pretty solid. I did think that the Germa face was kind of funny at this point, but then you actually just leaned into it and kept leaning into it, and I think that can make it work. When you really lean into something, you can. It's like a bad joke, right? When you super lean into it, it becomes funny. This one was like, oh, haha, Germa face. Oh no, it keeps going, and then it keeps going, and then it keeps going, and then it's actually okay. That worked. It got me. I think the only criticism I have there is the skipping at the end, which is a bit overplayed, and I think it's hard to do that right these days. I don't think it super detracts from it. I think it's just a little bit on the nose, right? It's a little too much of a popular trope, so it's hard for it to actually be sort of spooky, I think people on TikTok have tried making ARG/analog horror on TikTok, but almost all the comments were not getting that it was. No, you're right. There have been a few, like, I believe, what is it? The Sun is Missing is a TikTok one, I think. I think you just got to sort of lean into it and expect people to not get it, TikTok offers less engagement overall. A bit compared to YouTube videos, like a video, yeah. There's a less emphasis on comments and whatnot. So I do think it's hard, and people don't expect it, right? You have to go where the audience expects it. It's very hard to forge your own path in that format. Like if you were to do like an ARG/analog horror on like LinkedIn, could that be cool? Yeah, it could be, but it would be very hard to get engagement from LinkedIn people, right? You would have to get external engagement. Which honestly though, that's not a bad expectation, because most analog horror doesn't get much engagement. It gets more engagement from the videos made about it, right? Like I did a video about what was it called again? I've completely forgotten what it's called. Hang on. Mythonics. Yeah. Nocturnal Chronicles, and I'm pretty sure, if memory serves, this got way more views than all of the bloody videos from Nocturnal Chronicles, which is a damn shame, because ultimately, yeah, they did something. They ended up making a new series, but like, It's a damn shame because it's a fantastic series. Like the biggest one, the most views they got were 21K, and like my video did heaps more. And it's like, well, obviously, like I'm covering that content to make money. Obviously, right? That's the deal, right? But I want more people to see this stuff because I think it's really good. I think that, you know, this series, Nocturnal Chronicles, is really good. Or I wouldn't cover it. There's so like, you know, there's so much analog horror out there that just sucks, right? And it's not really worth doing a full video on because there's plenty that are good that you can do a video on. And this was one of them. And like this had some fantastic moments, right? Especially like this, it came from the sea and Visitor and Happy Couple. Visitor, Happy Couple, and Aftermath. That's probably it's one of my favorite sets of videos out of all of analog horror. It's just a perfect set. Obviously, you need to watch the rest to understand the full context, but it's awesome, right? It's awesome. And it's a damn shame that this stuff just doesn't get as many views. But that's just how it works, right? That's just how it works. And all you can really hope for as somebody that covers it is that your video encourages people to go and watch the original. Because, right, it's just straight up just a symbiotic relationship, right? I get money from covering it, but if people don't go and watch the original, then they're not going to make more, you know? And that's sort of what you always hope for when you make it. And that's why you've got people like Nick Nocturne with oh good lord, what's his channel called? I watch it all the time. Nocturne. I watched it as friggin' Nightmind. So that's when you've got Nightmind. Every single one of his videos, he starts with, go watch it. I'm going to stop for 5 seconds. So you pause this video, go watch the original, and then come back, right? And because it's just simply, you know, not only is it morally the right thing to do, but it's just a matter of survival, right? You know, at the end of the day, it's a symbiotic relationship. We help them get more views, but if they don't survive, then it's over for us too. So, you know, so. And yeah, it's a damn shame if people don't check. Like I really wanted people to check out Nocturnal Chronicles more, and they just sort of, you know, didn't, which is a damn shame. It's a real damn shame. But you know, it's not like I can force people to go and watch a series more, right? You know, I try to advertise it as much in my video. Go watch it. This is how good it is. This is how awesome it is. Go watch it. And then people just didn't watch it as much. But oh well. Only so much you can do, right? That's kind of why I waited before covering Baroque Hour, because I knew the creator was remaking some of the earlier videos. That's why I waited for them to remake the ones that they wanted to, so they could put their best foot forward, so that if I do cover it and I do a video that gets like 100k, 150k views, people that go check it out, they can see it and say, okay, this is actually really good because it's the best foot forward, right? So, you know, it's, you know, you do what you can. Right? School Rumors is pretty good. I found that's the one where there's like the hidden basement or something, right? Yeah, it's interesting. Nightmare covers some great stuff. Like some of the stuff, he covers a lot of stuff. And some of it I watch it and I'm like, oh, that's not really for me. But some of the other ones he covers, like, man, that's pretty good. You know. Okay. Let's watch Orpheus 2 Awake. This one. Hang on. This one. I remember watching it. And I was like, is this one like a... I wasn't sure if it was a parody or not, was this one. And with, I think it was number 3 as well, Medical Studies. When I first watched it, I was like, oh, is this a parody? Until this moment. Oh, this moment was so good. So good. And I think that me ragging on it may have been part of the reason why the creator ended up remaking some of the stuff. I won't take all the credit. No, I won't take credit. But I did rag on it a fair bit. And then it was a couple episodes later, I'm like, oh wait, no, this is actually really good. So it was funny. Anyway, let's keep watching. Have subtitles? No. Okay.
Bradmore Police Station, this is Officer Johnson. How can I help you?
Good afternoon. My name's Alex Smith.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. What is the reason for your call?
I wanted to report something unusual, and that honestly has been distressing me since, well, last night.
Okay.
I know this might sound strange, but, well, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I...
So, this is interesting. So, there's a problem with analog horror that we mentioned a little bit when we were talking about Mandela, was that if this is a tape or something, like, why does this exist? Like, what is this recording for? Why are we seeing this? And there is always some suspension of disbelief, right? In Mandela Catalog, the idea is that it is Officer Thatcher investigating what's happening, right? So that's why he's got all these tapes of like, from the missing people, he's collecting all this information and whatnot. As the series goes on, we start seeing some different things that aren't from those tapes. But that was sort of the original idea. It felt like, right? This one, but you can break that rule if it's interesting enough, right? If you make it visually interesting enough, if there's just sometimes you need to break it anyway because there's a part of the story you can't tell no matter what, right? Or you change the format up. So like there's parts in Mandela as it goes along which are live action footage basically, heavily edited, but it's basically live action. And there's no way that could ever possibly be a tape or a recording or anything like that. But the core of analog horror is that it is a tape recording that you've found after whatever has happened, right? And this one breaks that rule almost immediately. See, the first episode was like, okay, this is a recording of what the guy saw at 2 a.m. He was watching the Baroque Hour and it was like really freaky, and that's the tape recording of it, right? This one is a conversation between him and a police officer. Why is this being recorded? And why are the faces like that? You know, why are they shadowed like that? It doesn't make any sort of sense in quotation marks, but because it looks cool, you can forgive it. Like this is a really cool layout for it, right? Like it's visually that's a really really nice shot, but it still has those elements of. So it's obviously riffing on the ideas where people have like a telephone call and there's like the faces there that they did in Mandela, and I'm pretty sure they did it in the first version of this too. This one, yeah, here. So it was based off this sort of similar idea, right? Where it's the two people talking back and forth. But this one's like, no, let's make it like nobody gives a shit, right? Like at a certain point, you can just say, I don't care. It doesn't need to be a tape from an investigation. I'm just going to make it look cool. And if you make it look cool enough, it doesn't matter. And this looks cool. So I feel like people just want to watch easily consumable version of X media and see someone else make the connections for them. Yeah, look, I do that as well. So I don't entirely blame people for it. It can be hard to sit there and watch analog horror. But it's a tough situation, right? It's a really like I don't blame anybody involved for it. It's sort of hard, you know. Yeah, analog horror, and the other things that get sort of that are like ARGs in quotation marks. It's hard to watch them. You've got to have your brain switched on, and people want content where they don't have to have their brain switched on, right? That's just how it is, you know. You know, when you're listening to a podcast and you're playing a video game and you're in a Discord call and you want a YouTube video to play as well because your attention span is shot, you don't want something that you have to focus on. It doesn't work that way, right? So, you know, it's just how it is. Just how it is. And it sort of sucks that the people who get the short end of the stick here are the people that are making the content that fuels the whole thing. That's the funniest thing. The people that fuel the whole thing are getting the least out of it. So I don't know what the way to go there is, you know? It's like, is it a situation where the person covering it should give some of the money they make to the person there? But then it's like, well, I couldn't afford that. The amount of money I make now, I couldn't afford to do that. So I just wouldn't be able to make those videos, right? I would just have to cover video games. So I wouldn't be able to cover this at all, you know? And I don't know other people's situation. Like, I don't know how much money, like, you know, Nightmine's making, right? But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just wouldn't be able to cover the things they do if they had to split their revenue like that, you know? So I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if there is a solution, to be honest. I think it's just a hope that I think people make, so I guess it depends on the reason why they make these things, right? It could be just, you know, they're doing it for fun. They're doing it to grow their own skills, and the money isn't really a big thing for them. Maybe they're doing it in the hopes that they do get big enough so that they can sell merch, or they get enough views by themselves, like Mandela, right? Maybe there's a bit of hope there. Maybe they want to get into the movie industry, like Kane Pixels, how he ended up turning that into his own little film career. Basically, he's making movies and stuff now, right? So I think it really depends on what they're doing. I think if you go into making YouTube videos like this expecting to make money, it's very hard. It's very hard, and you kind of shouldn't do that. And I know I'm saying that as somebody who makes money from YouTube, but it wasn't easy. Like, I have lots of failures before I actually started making money from YouTube. A lot of failures before I started making money from it. It was a long time. It was like 2 years before I started making money from YouTube, you know? And even then it wasn't very much for a long time. And I'm still just barely scraping by, you know? So I think it's just a hard situation all around. I think it feels bad that myself and others can profit off the hard work of people when they're not profiting off of it. But it's like, well, that's sort of the ecosystem, right? You know, it's not like I'm just copy pasting their work. I am adding to it, like explaining it and making my own little videos about it, right? But it still feels kind of is a bad situation where you got people who are making it things that I think are excellent. Like I really like Orpheus and the Baroque Hour. Like, I think it's great, and I think it's kind of sucks that doesn't get as many views as I think it deserves. But like, what do I do? Like, you know, what do I do in this situation? Like, if I make a video about it and I make money from it, and that person doesn't make any money from it, like, what happens then, right? Do I just eat it? Do I just take the money and say, oh, screw, like, give them the finger, right? Because if I have to split the money, I can't do it then. I just can't make these videos. So it's a tough situation, you know. As much as I love horror, it's much more tolerable for me to watch analysis of them and not the horror itself. I always try to watch the original where I can, but I guess it's a situation of it depends. It really does. It's such a finicky situation, you know. Like, I don't think Baroque Hour and these people are making it specifically so they get covered. That doesn't seem to be what they're doing, right? You know. Anyway, it's just it's a funny situation, and I don't know. It doesn't really sit right with me, but it's like that's the best way I can get people to watch this stuff, right? Monokuma, yeah, it is a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? Like that's the only way I can get people to watch this stuff that I think is good. Invariably, to do that, I've got to make money from it in order to get more eyeballs on this. If I'm going to spend that much time working on a video about it, I have to make money from it. I have to. And the only other way is to stream it. But I make money from streams too. I don't make much, but I do make money from my streams, you know. So it's like there's basically no way of me actually getting eyeballs on this without making money, you know. And I have to make money, but spend the time doing it. So I don't know. It's funny. It's funny. I don't know if there's a better way of doing it. I think the only sort of thing I can hope out of it is to make a video that's popular enough that enough people come and watch this stuff that they can become self-sufficient. I think is sort of the only way to do it, to treat my video as advertising that I'm paying myself to do. I think is the only way to think about it, right? So I don't think it's entirely as immoral as I think it is on the surface, right? Because ultimately, a video like the video I made, 100k views, 150k views, right? That's 150k people that are aware of this series that weren't before, right? That's a lot of eyeballs for a series, for a series that realistically, may not get covered by somebody else or whatever, So it's like, it's not nothing. Me being able to do that. Even if I am getting paid for it, that's. I think you can think of it as a kind of advertising as well, couldn't you? And you do pay for advertising. You know what? I can talk myself into thinking this is a moral action. I would just hope that people would be interested enough in the series to go and watch it. That's what I would hope for. Oh well. All right, let's keep watching. That's enough of that. That's enough about me.
Falling asleep on the couch when the television started to look weird. I was terrified. There were strange images and loud music. And then, that word, ORPHEUS, was written on the screen.
You're bullshitting me, aren't you? You think you're funny, kid?
Officer, I'm serious. I don't know what to do. I see that everywhere. You must help me. Officer, please.
You better not call again for this kind of bullshit, son. You might pay for it very dearly.
Good lord.
Officer, please.
Have a nice day.
So definitely instances where this works. Super iPatch Wolf's video on Funga was how I was introduced to both games, and if I never watched that video, I doubt it'd be the other one. That's a really good point, actually, yeah. There were heaps of people. Like, Terminator was getting decently popular before that video, but then you had, like, iPatch Wolf, and then you had, like, Connor, and you had a few other big people play it, and that just, boom, like, it became a cultural phenomenon, right? It transcended just being a random indie game, and now it's like a massive thing, right? So, you're right, and it's like they are making money off of somebody else's content. But yeah, well, that's actually a good point. Like, why is it different for games than it is for like YouTube videos? Like, what is the difference really? When what's the difference between me doing an explainer video about like Orpheus compared to doing an explainer video about Fear and Hunger lore? Like, what's the actual difference there? Why is one fine and the other one is kind of iffy? I don't think. Yeah, I think it's just a funny mental block there, to be honest. Treat YouTube coverage more like a Steam creator group since it's easy to get burned on analog horror. Like, when you didn't stream, I still watch Baroque out on my own. Easy to get. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of analog horror that is just like it's not worth your time, that's why I was doing it when I was streaming before. I was trying to watch a whole bunch of different stuff to try and find the hidden gems, and there was a lot that just weren't very good. That's just how it is, And I enjoyed going through there and watching them and being critical of them and, explaining what I liked and what I didn't like about them. I enjoyed doing that. I thought that was a lot of fun. But for the person who just wants good analog horror, it's a painful process, because sometimes you've got to sink like hours into it to actually get the value out of it, and you don't know, So, yeah. So I guess it's not. Yeah, look, I think I was just being a bit silly, being a bit taking it a bit too seriously, Because what is the difference between covering something like Orpheus compared to something like Fear and Hunger, Anyway, that's enough about me. Oh, and because this is bound to come up again, I'd just like to point out that yes, they were AI voices, but I think that smaller creators who are doing this for fun or doing it to learn, and like they're not doing it with the intention to make money. I think it's fine or if they don't have a budget at all, they've got a budget of like a ham sandwich and their own personal time, right? I think it's fine for them to use AI. Like, I don't think it's always bad to use AI. Some people do, but I personally don't. And I think in a situation like this where it's where an analog horror series can be made or ruined by the quality of the voice acting. I think it's fine to use AI if you can't find or especially afford a voice actor for your series, right? That's always been my stance, and I think that'll always be my stance. And especially with pitches as well. So these pitches, I believe, are AI face. They're really dark. I believe they are AI voice face generations as well. And I am especially okay with that because you don't want to depict a real life person as like some horrible monster or part of some cult or get brutally murdered. That sort of thing. That I think that's perfectly fine. Voices, I think, if you're a series that is, not making any money, doing it for fun, doing it to learn, I think that's perfectly fine. If it's something like Mandela, where it's massive and you've got heaps of money coming in, you're selling merch, whatever, then you should definitely spend money on getting real people where possible. But I think for small series like this, I think it's perfectly fine to use AI. I don't think it's a problem. Some people get really heated about that, but I'm not someone who's like no AI whatsoever, right? I think there's uses for it, So the thing is, like, AI will give you probably like a little under average quality, right, with the voices, right? So you heard those voices there; they're okay, they're passable. They're not amazing, but they're passable. A good voice actor will be way better than AI, no matter what. But a bad voice actor will completely tank your series. So I think it's definitely a situation where you should look for one, but if you can't find any that are any good and you can't afford it, then it's perfectly fine to use AI. That's my official stance. Should you have trusted them? Being able to deal with your average aspiring voice actor's personality is also not an easy task. I actually don't know. I don't know. Well, I guess VTubers are basically aspiring voice actors, right? And they're all crazy. So yeah, I'll agree with you. VTubers are all crazy. So. Buddy, you shouldn't have called him. Should you? Was it a good idea to call them? This has vibes of bad idea, Mark. Ooh, that's creepy. He's awake from his sleep.
He's awake from his sleep. He discovered something he should not.
And of course that old text to voice isn't quite AI, and I think we can all agree that one's fine. I care about AI as long as they're upfront about it. It's like putting a satire disclaimer. Yeah. Don't like AI when it comes to art, but when you're throwing together an entire video and there's a bunch of moving parts and you have zero budget, it makes sense. Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? If they've got no budget and they're not expecting to make money from it, it's like, well, can you really fault them? I don't think so. I think it's fine in that circumstance. If you do have a budget, you should 100% give it to voice actors, right? And that will legitimately make your project better anyway, which is the whole point of having a budget for a project. So, Geez, they trashed this guy's place. That's different. Oh. Goodbye, Mr. Smith.
Goodbye, Mr. Smith.
We had to look at that. Okay. So I remember in the first one, it was a pretty, if I recall correctly, it was a pretty goofy Germa face when they did this part. But that's much better. That's much better. Not super creepy, but not bad.
Goodbye, Mr. Smith.
At Lab, Sydney. No? ORPHEUS, Global Corporation. That's right, they had like a segment in the original that was like, yeah, we're an evil world cult, don't tell anyone. that was pretty funny. How to be a good policeman.
Greetings to you, police cadets. It is a pleasure for us to know that responsible youngsters like you will be the guardians of our project. Maybe for you it's not totally clear who we are, but you should not worry about this. We are here simply since before you're born. This is all you need to know for now. So let's specify one thing before we begin. First rule.
Do not betray.
No one must ever know about this educational short, or about us. So please
Well, they're doing
do
it
not
again. It's
betray
just,
our trust.
it's just straight up.
Believe me, it would not be worth it for you. But now you have nothing to fear. You are strong and intelligent young men. You are in good hands with us. Move on point 17. And awake within your jurisdiction. But first of all, you are no doubt wondering, what is an awake?
Good
There
question.
is nothing easier. Any person who, by an unhappy coincidence, manages to consciously see the subliminal messages that we broadcast daily on the televised media. Obviously the viewer, not being used to experiencing and witnessing such content on a conscious level, but only during an induced sleepiness, will enter into an understandable state of severe alertness.
Oh, okay. So what happened was the guy was on like flu medication and it made him sleepy. But he wasn't fully asleep, and so he could actually see this through the subliminal messages. Okay, that's why there was the Sudafed thing at the start. That makes sense.
Let's say that an awake is indeed anyone who has woken up from the sleepiness we induce through the media itself. You
Awake?
see,
I'm sick of these woke analog horror series. No, I'm joking.
it's as easy to understand as drinking a glass of water. We still don't know why some people wake up, and why.
Sleep paralysis? Yeah, could be.
precisely. It seems that certain individuals have special brain characteristics that allow them to see through the...
I am changing my mind on this a little bit. Right, I am changing my mind on this a little bit. It's so when I first watched this, I thought this is utterly ridiculous. Like, why would this super secret evil cult that's taken over the world produce stuff like this? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But then when you think about it, there's all those conspiracy theories about how, like, the World Economic Forum, how they just openly produce, like they openly talk about their evil plans, right? And nobody believes it because it sounds too ridiculous. That's a conspiracy theory. Obviously, I don't believe it. But the conspiracy theory is the World Economic Forum want to, I don't even know what it is, ruin the quality of life for everybody, take away all their stuff. And they openly say that, but nobody believes it because of how ridiculous it is. So they can just keep saying it. And I think that's what's happening here. This is the sort of vibe it's going for. And that actually makes me like it a lot more. So Being sleepy makes you more likely to see through the messages. Fear and hunger logic confirmed. So true.
The filters we apply to avoid them getting conscious. But now, how to recognize an awake? Nothing could be easier. By observing the symptoms. The symptoms of awake are anxiety and frequent panic attacks.
Buddy, I'm awake.
In the earliest stages of the disease, along with nightmares and night terrors.
I don't get nightmares.
Progressing to paranoia, visual and auditory hallucinations, and finally convulsions and even coma in the later
Please release
phases
me.
of the...
Oh. Oh, that's like Sumerian? What the hell?
In the event that a civilian calls the police, reporting strange
Second to the last stage of a takeover is exactly, yeah.
images or sounds on television with resulting symptoms, we need to be alerted as soon as possible. We will then proceed to keep the subject under close and discreet supervision. In the best case, the subject will kill himself within a month, exhausted by the symptoms caused by the exposure to our messages. But in the unfortunate event that he survives for more than a month, he will begin to realize what is happening to him, and he will be driven to an innate research of information about his condition. Who wouldn't do that, to be honest? This would be a great inconvenience to us. Therefore,
Infographic
in
animal
case
horror.
an awake survives
It's
suicide,
tough to make it work these
it
days.
will be taken and forcefully offered.
Ooh. Ooh, golly. But like, imagine, right? So let's say this was real, right? You actually found this tape, and you have 100% proof that it's 100% real. That there is this crazy cult, and they're working with cops, and they're sacrificing people and whatnot. What do you do with it, right? Like, what could you possibly do with it? Even assuming that you found like a newspaper or like a television station that would run it and tell everybody, nobody would believe it. They would think it was a prank. So that's how you can be so open about this stuff, right? You know? Cuneiform reminded me of the incident on Mormon TV where the guy started speaking in confident Sumerian when nobody knows exactly how to pronounce it. Good lord. That's right. Mormons have that thing with the ancient, the gold plates and whatnot, don't they? The ancient text. Oh. Looks like eyes. Tape deck analog horror.
I'm Alex. Not quite sure on what's happening to me. But all of a sudden, after several days of delirium and piercing pain, I felt the urge to know the origin of this damn thing was tormenting me. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'm doing research. I'll do everything in my power to find the origin of this damn curse that's affecting me. My head hurts to death. I was saying, I will do everything in my power to find the origin of what is happening to me. In case you find this tape, just know that it will probably be next to my dead body. But at least I'll know that I tried. Tried to find causes.
Yeah, that does look like eyes, doesn't it?
Even if I haven't seen you
Hey,
in
Red
weeks,
Matter.
at least you'll know that I did it for your own safety. They're always watching me.
This is
I feel
Baroque
like they're
Hour.
always watching me.
It's an analog horror series. A guy is currently being
That's why I
hunted
never
by a
come
cult.
close to your house. Tell little Chris that his big brother tried until the end to come back to him.
Ooh. Guys, do you think he's okay? Golly. You jump scare yourself, laddie. Oh, okay, so that was the end. That was the end of that one. Yeah, oh yeah, it did that face in the original. Wasn't very good. Yeah, that was much better. That was much better than the original, I think. Yeah, yeah, here we go. And I had the really bad Gemma face in the original. Um, so it's generally a really similar thing. I think there was like there was a spooky thing here. Was there? That it was missed? No. No, so yeah, it's generally a lot better. It's not like the Mandela remakes, which were like it was like worse than the original for some bizarre reason. No, this was good. This was good. I really liked the remake. That was good. Bro sipped on a banana peel. Hey, Carla, how you doing, man? Okay, so this one I believe should be pretty good. I think. Yes. Okay, this is the one. Let's watch. Does this have? Is this automatic? Music over the crash out absolutely ate. Yeah, it did. Slipped on a comically long staircase into his collection of fine china and Rube Goldberg machines. Okay. OMC. Orpheus Medical Care. I'm assuming. OMC USA Research Center, Delaware Section, 1985. Presenting the new studies conducted by... Grumpy looking fella, isn't he? Dr. M. Sweeney. Doctor responsible for autopsies and corpse studies. Okay. Orpheus Medical Center. Is that what I said? No, I said care. Close. Holds the tone much more consistently. Scares a bit more pleasant watch. Yeah, it is better. I think. New studies on the awake syndrome and possible sacrifices resulting from it. Good lord. In the original episode 2 was not very good at all. The remake, pretty good. I liked it. Not amazing, but definitely a lot better. The human being. The human going. Human doing. God's favourite creature, and as scientists later reported, one of the most highly developed animals on the face of the earth. So true. Despite the fact that his brain enables him to understand the mysteries of mathematics, philosophy, art, science, the human being remains a corruptible and fragile creature, tormented by the sorrows of the world and the dangers that surround him. He is a creature easily swayed by what he sees or hears, drawing both benefits and ills from it. I agree. Is that nudity? Do we have to censor that? To censor that, I think. Oh, he's back. Oh, good lord. Corpse from Awake. Man's nature, corrupted, subverted, and reshaped, is deprived of its vital source, a soul that gives him peculiar flourishing of life. The Awake, after atrocious suffering as a result of committed suicide, departs from this world as a creature with little left of his lost humanity. Over time, his human form loses its appearance, its mind, and finally even its primary and original source, a soul. Being consumed and absorbed, the soul ceases its existence leaving only fragile and distorted remains of what was once a man. What is going on here? Hang on. That was fast. Okay, now we're getting a bit creepy. I like this. Probably because it's a remake, but I like how it knows which formula works and which doesn't. Looks like it's comfortable in its own skin. It does. It is a lot more comfortable. A lot... Like, it's definitely cut out a lot of the stuff that doesn't work, or improved it, right? This implies women are different and much more intelligent life form. So true. Distorted face, pale skin, empty eyes, widened mouth, dislocated jaw, and scrawny body. Oh. That's Alex's house. Oh. Oh, so they didn't kill him there. Natural death by awake. Emmeline Brock. Ooh. Jonathan Yates. Charlotte Hart. Caleb Rees. Not bad. I would... This is a little bit of a criticism. I would leave them on screen for longer. Not that one. Maybe that one. Not that one. Yeah, that one. That one's the best one. That one's the best one. I'll just leave this on screen for a while. I would just stop and hold it. Bad idea, Alex. Because in analog horror, you can let things breathe. That was the best... I believe that was the best sort of innovation from analog horror, is that you can just let things breathe. So you can just say, okay, here's something that if you just flash it on screen isn't that scary, but if you just hold it and you just keep holding it, it actually gets really unsettling. And I think you could do that here. You could just flick through a couple and then just stop. And then just hold it. And it gets weirder and weirder, right, as you look at it more. Suicide caused by awake. Like this. If you held on this, fuck yes. That's scary. Creepy eyes. Yes, hold on that. Shot in the head. Or like any of these, really. Poisoning due to medication. Subject is partially corrupted. Hanging. Maybe not this one. It's not. It would obviously pick the creepiest looking ones to do it. Some of them you can flip through them, and that's useful too, to give people an idea that, oh, this is happening a lot. Here you go, bang, 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 hold. Right? Case number 3. Oh. But no, this is definitely a lot.
Enough sugar in it that it gives a little crispness too. It's not like a typical dough at all. And you make it to a smooth dough, and then you flatten it.
Is that someone watching? This is good. This is good. Let's see if it sticks to landing, guys. Human sacrifices. So the problem here is that these pictures aren't scary. They're not spooky. I know they're there to be like an illustration of what's happening to these people, but you also have the pictures and they're way freakier. I would probably not do these pictures. I would probably just have like the photos, right? Maybe make it a bit more obvious as like an autopsy report or something like that, but it just doesn't quite land. I think it's in a middle ground of trying to scare you and trying to be scientific, and I don't think it lands. I would lean really hard into one. you know, if that makes sense. Because the pictures just aren't landing in my opinion. But the actual, like, the drawings aren't landing in my opinion, but then the pictures are good. So, you know, like the pictures, they're good. Like going from the picture to like the actual guy, that was good. That was good. But the pictures are like the drawings are like, not scary. This is a great stream. Left to watch Deadpool and Wolverine. Came back and you're still going. Yeah, we've been going for like almost 5 hours now. Human sacrifices. A miracle of nature. A man whose soul is gripped in a vice, but not removed, but dominated. Stronger, feeling no pain and unable to rot, but unfortunately, complete state of immobility with no brain activity. Our studies detect the thickening of the muscle fibers and strengthening of the jaws, but in the state we have them, they are useless. Being like flesh statues, at the very least, we have a way of eliminating those who stand in our way and studying them, since there seems to be no other use of these corpses. Okay. Interesting. There's a lot happening here. You've got awake syndrome, and then you've got human sacrifices. With the Orpheus symbol on their chest. Distorted face, pale skin, swollen ocular bulbs, exposed teeth, strong jaw, thick muscle fibers. Does that mean eyes? Does swollen ocular bulbs mean eyes? Is that what that means? Does anybody ever call it ocular bulbs? Hang on. What? That can't be right. Is it something else? Ocular bulbs. Ocular bulbs, here we go. Is another term for eyeballs, the spherical sensory... Oh, I know what eyeballs are. Why is it called that, though? Is it actually called that? Oh, it is. Oh, my mistake. Oh. The ocular globes, or simply eyes. Okay, that's interesting. The globe is suspended by the bulbar sheath in the anterior third of the bony orbit. This sounds like bloody Pikmin terminology. What is going on here? Okay, well, I stand corrected. There you go. I gazed into his emerald orbs. I gazed into his ocular bulbs. Oh. Oh, no, we had something. Hang on. We had something creepy. We had to see it. Oh, he's all like melty. He's got no eyes. Case number 3. Okay, we're back. Tyson Spencer. Isaiah Weeks. Alexander Smith. Oh, that's him. That's the guy. It's Alex Smith. Yeah, it's him. What's her name? Lily Fogister. Okay. I don't know about this design of the big teeth and what. I don't know about it. It's not quite landing for me, to be honest. They took his bulbs. Okay, so this style where it goes like case 1, like, you know, case whatever, and then it does like case number 2, whatever, and then it goes like case number whatever, and then it's like a in quotation live action thing. I love that setup. It's such a good setup because it gets so creepy. They did that a bit in the recent Mandela, the last one we watched, which I think was like episode volume 4. I think they did that. It was pretty good. I think they did that a bit in Lacey as well, where they'll just like throw in like live action in quotation marks, right? Lily looks like a Bobby. What do you mean Lily looks like a Bobby? Oh, yeah, from Terminator, yeah. She kind of does. But no, I love this. I love that setup. So this is, I love these scenes so far. Really good. Wait, hang on. What was that? What is that? Nothing. Okay. Like design with the huge jaws, old ass horror mode for Source and game's aesthetic. It kind of is. I just don't think it quite lands. Like that'd be super freaky to see IRL, but in these pictures it's like I don't know. It just kind of comes across as Germaface, you know? I would emphasize the eyes rather than the mouth because eyes are always scary. But I'm locked in for this scene, I'll tell you that much. I wonder how they... Oh. Okay. How to say...
Sacrifice a human
Let's
soul.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
First step, prepare an altar in a suitable room. Second step, place the human on the altar. Third step, pray.
It didn't land like the original.
Fourth step, prepare the branding iron.
Okay, so they brand them. That's how they get that symbol.
Brand a body.
Goated.
Sixth step,
Oh, hang on. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting a call. I'll just be 1 second. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So let's keep watching. There's only 30 seconds left in this video, and then look, I'm going to compare it a little bit to the original number 3 medical studies, because I think we'll finish it. We'll finish it.
Hope it doesn't come back to life.
Hope it doesn't come back to life. Oh, what is that? Gemma? Okay, so he survived his Okay, so he got sacrificed, but he's like fine from it. That's Alex. That's Alex visiting his little brother. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Let's compare it to the original medical studies. Turn that down a little bit. For the most part, yes, much better. So these spooky faces aren't that spooky. Kiko is great. I don't watch stuff on this channel though, so the recommendations are like random most of the time. These spooky faces not spooky at all. The ones in the new one are way better. These drawings were yeah, not very good. They're better in the new one. So like almost everything in here is way better in the new one. Like, these are just pretty bad. You know, like not very good at all. Look, so a really cartoony style can work, right? When you look at what's the one that's like Five Nights at Freddy's but not Five Nights at Freddy's? The analog horror inspired by FNAF. You know the one. I always talk about it and then I always forget the name. Walton Files. Walton Files. So Walton Files is really cartoony, but the horror still works really well in that. But I think you have to make the whole thing that style. You know? Exactly, Cantor. Walton Files. So you can't change styles a lot. So this could work, and I think this might have been inspired by Walton Files, because that's very similar to Eyes to how they do it in Walton Files. But that one's not very good. You've kind of got to lean into it the entire way, you know. So like you can't go, okay, so this one's just gonna be a Photoshop face, but this one's gonna be really cartoony, and it's like, oh, it doesn't quite work, you know. Oh, that was terrible. I think the ending of this one works a lot better than the ending of the remake, to be honest. So you've got this scene with the sacrifice. This was my favorite scene in the original, despite not liking the rest of this video, which is funny. So we'll watch the originals, How to Sacrifice a Human Being. A lot more contrast in the newer versions, and contrast is generally a lot better. Struggle a lot with contrast myself. It's really make or break. It really is. It really, like, you do have to hide a lot, because using the human mind to fill in the blanks is a really powerful tool. But you still got to be careful. You still got to show something, right? So we're gonna watch.
How to sacrifice a human being. First step. Prepare an altar in a suitable room. Second step. Place the human on the altar. Third step. Pray.
I'm afraid that's better. I am afraid that the original was better there. That was one of my favorite scenes in this thing, and this one just doesn't have the same hit, does it? It just doesn't hit. They are a bit, but see, look, it does the analog horror skipping doesn't land, and it's not sudden. So the thing that this worked, it was a jump scare. It was actually a secret jump scare, right? You know, like, boom, gotcha, right? Like, you know, it's not perfect. The hands are a little goofy, right? You're like, sure, but it's actually a jump scare, even though you don't think it is. You think it is, but this one, it misses the point that it's a jump scare, I think, and it slowly slides in, and I don't think that works. And the music doesn't, and it tries to replace it with that, and it's like, doesn't land. It doesn't land. I do like I like the aesthetic a little more, like how it's realistic pictures instead of an infographic. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Especially since you skipped this part. I didn't mind. I don't know. I think this is.
Doesn't come back to life.
I guess it makes it a bit more clear what's happening here. In the new one. See, that's not bad. It's not bad. The face isn't that scary, but it's not not a bad scene. I think this one. It's about the same.
Hope it doesn't come back.
Osama bin Laden hiding spot. He's just not scary though. I think is the issue. It's not a scary face. The teeth is just, it's not laughable. Like, it's not funny, which was the issue in some of the old ones. Like, it was funny. It's not funny, but it's not scary. Is the issue. Well, in general, the remakes are better. The remakes are definitely better than the originals. So on the whole, I would say they're definitely an improvement. Especially the second one, remake number Awake 2, definitely a lot better. But I think that it's still not quite, not quite where though, not quite there. All right, so. Let's watch. I don't know if we'll be able to do all of them today. We've been going for like 5 hours. And I'm starting to run out of steam a little bit. We'll watch up to episode 6. So we'll watch elections. Oh no, we'll watch this one and then we'll see. We'll see how we go. Episode 5. Elections. Human curiosity is pure. I love it. This is it. This is my favorite episode. It's great.
Our wonderful little town needs a mayor who can show America what we are worth. And who else but Jacob P. Foster can take the place of the new
Let's
mayor?
go! I'd vote for Jacob P. Foster. Would you?
I was born in this city 60 years ago. It was a wonderful place. I still remember when several of today's buildings were not yet there. I am very attached to this place. That's why I want to make it a perfect place to live in. Dear fellow citizens, my only mission is to bring prosperity to this happy little town. No crime will be allowed anymore. We will create together a place where families can live happily. Think of the children. Vote for me.
Don't miss the polls on June 6th. We need your vote.
That's great.
Foster for a new Bradmore.
So this one isn't a remake, this is the original. So we're back to the originals now. We finished all the remakes. Oh.
We welcome you to the big family of Orpheus. We know very well who you are, and so we send you the best greetings, Mayor Jacob Patrick Foster from the happy little town of
Yep, no crime allowed.
in Delaware. And our kind staffer has no doubt explained to you.
Is that Joe
the
Biden?
attitude escape.
Is that Joe Biden? Is he a Mayor Foster staffer?
Every mayor must go through these procedures, even the one who preceded you and his predecessor before him. We need trustworthy mayors to lead the flock of Orpheus. You probably have never heard about us, but we have been operating continuously for centuries. The whole world is under our rule, and you better submit to. We know your family very well, Agent Patrick Foster, so you'd better cooperate with us. And remember to keep your mouth shut. Our resistance must remain secret. You might even get some benefits from your participation, but only those that will be allowed by your position within our hierarchy. Here's a quick explanation for you. In the lowest level we have police officers, the only position that allows scum to rise one level without too much effort. In the second level we have your category, city mayors and other minor offices. At the third level, we find politicians and their councils. At the fourth level, we have the higher brothers. Among them are presidents, businessmen, and several millionaires. They are the only ones, without exception, who can attend our rituals as participants or spectators. Above them comes our supreme leader, the most important mortal figure for our cult.
I wonder who that is. Who was the president in 1985? This is cool footage to use for an analog horror.
Who the hell is it at this time of night?
Sir, this is Fedderson.
Ah, Chief Fedderson. Why the fuck are you calling me at this hour?
Ah,
Sir,
Chief,
we received
why the fuck are you calling me?
a call this afternoon. Seems to be a clear case of awake.
Another one. Why are they so frequent? Those idiots at the local TV station had said that they could broadcast awake-proof subliminal messages.
It is impossible to broadcast awake-proof subliminal messages, sir. Whatever precautions we take, there will always be someone able to see through our filters.
Ah, the hell with it.
Reagan.
What is the name of the subject?
Smith, sir. Alexander Smith. He lives
Oh,
in Jefferson
okay.
Street all alone. His mother and younger brother live 2 blocks away.
Thank you for the information, Fedderson. I will contact the Delaware section. I hope they hurry to take him. This awake thing is getting on my nerves.
It is the role of the police to keep you updated in the situation within the town. If the presence of an awake is detected, you will be notified and must advise us as soon as possible. Then we will take care of the situation, and you will have to do nothing more.
Okay. What secrets are they hiding? Thought the man. I also want... I like this scene. This is a great scene. I love this scene. Also want to know about their sacrifices. Would it be so bad to secretly follow them to see their rituals? Bad idea. You got me. I love it. I love it. What was that abomination? What the hell happened to that man? The mayor was very concerned. I thought their sacrifices were simple murders. Better go home and forget what I saw. Yeah, no, it's too late, buddy. It's too late, buddy. Bad choice, Alex.
Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions.
They're all dead. And it's only your fault, Mayor. Human curiosity is pure selfishness. People like you must be punished.
Oh, it's so good!
Oh, and then it just stops dead. It's so good. Oh man, one of my favorite scenes in analog horror. Full stop. Full stop.
Citizens of Bradmore, elections are coming up. Our wonderful little town needs a mayor who can show America what we are worth. And who else but George M. Dewar can take the place of the new mayor?
That's so good. I think it's just a... I think that's like just a perfect like you could just have this by itself and it would be a fantastic little one and done analog horror short. I think it's really good, perfectly balanced, perfectly paced. The only thing I dislike about it is that some of the AI voices here are pretty flat. Other than that, it's perfect. I wouldn't touch a thing. I love it. This Orpheus Elections is one of my favorite analog horror pieces. It just nails it. It just nails it. Mind blower. And human curiosity is pure selfishness. What a line. What a line. It's awesome. It's awesome. Oh. Yes, Mike kills himself as my vote. Oh, well, this is perfect. Just perfect. I love it. I love it. I think it's just excellent. You know, just really well done. I can't get over how good it is. I can't. It's good. His voice didn't match his face at some point. Yeah, it was just.
Always be someone able to see through our filters.
Ah, the hell with it. What is the name of the subject?
Smith, sir.
Alexander, hurry to take him.
This part here.
I will contact the... What is the name of the subject?
Smith, sir. Alexander Smith. He lives in Jefferson Street all alone.
So the mayor's lines here.
His brother lived 2 blocks away.
Thank you for the information.
It sounds like he's pissed at Feddersen.
I will contact the Delaware section. I hope they hurry to take him. This awake thing is getting on my nerves.
It was just a bit stilted and sort of awkward. I would have changed the lines up and got the AI to do some different lines and whatnot to see if it could hit it better. But other than that, I think it's just really well done. Just landed exactly where it needed to land. A little bit of humor in there too, which I think a lot of analog horror sort of misses, is having a little bit of cheeky humor. You know, oh, he shot himself, and then it's like, hey, time to elect a new mayor.
Little town needs a mayor.
Like it's good, it's great. Like it's just really well balanced, and you know, I can't sing its praises enough, to be honest. Okay, so we'll watch. Venice is really short, so we might watch Venice and then Blood Donation, I think. Okay, so episode 6, Venice. Or 5, Venice, I don't remember. The Spot. Church of Santa Maria Gloriosa de Ferrari. There's a cavern under the church. How long are we planning to do this stream? Probably not that much longer. Just finish this episode, probably the next one. Because I'm starting to get low on energy. Would a cave underneath Venice be flooded? Unless it gets really deep and the water just sort of pours in. El Preta, hang on. El Preta Rosso, leader from... Oh, so is this a leader of the cult? Hang on. Is this a real person? I think we looked this up last time we watched this. I just need to double check. El Prete Rosso. Oh, he was a composer. Oh, it's Vivaldi. Why is he called that? What does Prete Rosso mean? It means the red priest. Oh. Vivaldi's crop of curly red hair inherited from his father prompted his friends to nickname the composer Il Prete Rosso, the red priest. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So that explains the Vivaldi being used all the time. Interesting. Bring 5 more Red Bulls. You'll not regret it. I think it'd kill me at this point. Smell of iron and putrid. The big well has been filled. He will rise again from the depths of the prophet's grave. Beautiful Venice, come with your family. I'm planning to. Nice and simple. A little shorty. But it gives a bit of gives a little bit of backstory, doesn't it? What is this video? Give me 6 minutes and 43 seconds and I'll instantly make you more attractive. I wanna watch that later. Copy link address. I'll watch that later. I wanna be more attractive. In 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Wouldn't mind that. Okay, then we'll watch episode 6. What's the description? Any description? Rejoice! Next part, 07, A General Study. 1987, Orpheus Anal. Log horror. Message from our beloved president.
Good afternoon, my fellow Americans. I'm here today to ask you an important question, which I think you have a duty to answer.
Really?
Have you ever thought about offering your blood?
Is this supposed to be scary or funny? I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell. That was funny.
Have you ever thought about donating your blood for the homeland? Our hospitals are in great need of it. And I know in my
How can such a
heart
snack possibly
that
get
the
more hotter?
population cares about the health of the patients. You would never let one of your relatives die, would you?
Maybe.
Well, now imagine that one of them needs your blood to survive. What would you do? Of course you would donate it without a second thought. That's why, just for your benefit, I and the other leaders of the earth have put ourselves on the line to reach your consciences with one cry. Donate! Donate your blood!
Godspeed, Mr. President. I will give my blood for you. Since 1955, several accidents have involved hundreds of ambulances around the world. Each of them was carrying large amounts of blood from donation centers. Okay. At the scene of accidents, ambulances were always found with the cargo of blood mysteriously stolen. Ooh. The case is still open, and ambulances even to this day are being attacked around the world. Vampires? Are there vampires here? The ambulance vampires, as the media calls them, have never been caught, and their presence has brought a blood shortage to hospitals around the world. Good lord. Hang on. Well, are the ambulance vampires... would they be part of the Orpheus cult? Well, because while the Orpheus cult need to steal the blood, if they're running everything anyway, couldn't they just like quietly put it aside? You know, have it lost in shipping and whatnot, you know? Would they need to steal it? I don't know. Probably not. We'll see. That's loud. BBC News.
The ambulance vampires strike again. In Birmingham, an ambulance has been found completely destroyed at the crossing of Albert and Whitton Roads in Birchfield. Police are still investigating the incident.
Albert and Whitton Roads. Albert and Whitton Roads in Birchfield. Albert and Whitton Roads in Birchfield. There's a library there. I see the map. Albert and Whitton Roads. No, I did spell that right. Why would you...
The ambulance vampires strike again. In Birmingham, an...
Birmingham. Why did I say Here we go. Why did I say Birchfield? Okay, so what's here? There is an Islamic center. There is... what's that? Nothing? Is that anything? This is houses. There is... what's that? Primary Academy. No, that's probably not... what else is there? Extreme Pharmacy. And what's that? Anything? I don't think there's anything else there. It's a cafe. Cafe Mondo. Okay. Mustard Seed Church International. Huh. Okay. I don't think there's anything interesting there. Mansfield Green. It's a park. Looks like a bit of a shabby little park. Anyway, let's keep watching.
Ambulance has been found completely destroyed at the crossing of Albert and Whitton Roads in Birchfield.
Oh, that's why Birchfield.
Police are
Okay.
still investigating the incident and the resulting theft of blood. The two
And like
drivers
locations
were
to
found
tie to
dead.
real life locations.
Prime
Yeah.
Minister Thatcher expressed terrible sadness at the incident and urged the people of Britain to continue donating at the designated centres to remedy the blood shortage in British hospitals. Good evening. Another incident caused by ambulance vampires worries the people of Birmingham, where an ambulance carrying blood from the nearest donation centre.
Worker from what's his name? Giuliano Moravia. Giuliano Moravia. Major spelling mistake. He was working on the renovations to the church of the Santa Maria Gloriosa de Ferrari in Venice. After a sinkhole opened in the floor of the basilica, Giuliano fell underground. The sinkhole was quickly closed, and the other workers who witnessed it were eliminated. Oh, cool. Yeah, he's in the back rooms. It's over. Giuliano, have fun, buddy. You're never coming back. If you see Slender Man, just run, dude. It's suspected that the subject has seen the tank room as well as the content of the well, so his immediate sacrifices. Hang on, I'm not finished. Is required. We cannot risk him finding an escape path and telling him what he saw. Him telling what he saw to somebody. The well. That's where the blood was going, right? The tank room. Or is that tanks of blood? That's pretty cool. Because they said it smelled like iron or something, right? Oh, they got him. He saw... Yeah. Medical Sunday. This is funky. Today's guest, Dr. Michael Senway, Section Chief of Hematology and Oncology at the Christiana Hospital. Hematology is like blood
Let's say
segment.
that the situation is quite serious. The ambulance vampires have been operating on a regular basis since the post-war period, and in recent years they have caused a heavy shortage of blood for the hospitals. Our patients require blood during surgeries and in extreme emergencies, and at the moment we cannot guarantee such large supplies. They attack ambulances, steal all the blood supplies, and then kill the drivers. The fact that no one has been able to find and stop them all these years is terribly serious.
It is very serious. We suggest the name Ambulance Vampires.
What do I think about it?
Interesting.
Well, I'm of the opinion that these are simply contraband traffickers who resell.
We need a quicker method for blood collection.
So in conclusion, it is necessary for all American citizens, and not only them, but also all the citizens of the world, to make an effort to donate their blood to the specialized centers where it will be collected and transported to hospitals in the...
Okay. So they're manufacturing a disaster to get more people to donate blood because they just need... So they're not doing it to steal the blood. They are stealing the blood. But that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it to force people to donate more blood. Okay, that makes sense. I was outplayed. I was 4D chest. Rejoice, he's getting stronger. Oh. Freaky. Cool. I like it. I like it. That was good. That's good. A little bit of lore. Not super spooky, but sometimes you just need some lore drops, right? I like that ending. Yeah, I think in an ideal world, you would not have any episodes that aren't super spooky. But I think just the format, just the nature of the genre means you're just going to have episodes that are just lore heavy, right? Everything doesn't. So, feeding my pet goat blood, Little Shop of Horror style, so true. But yeah, so what do you guys think of Baroque Hour so far? So we've seen the first 6 episodes, and then after this there is 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes left. So these other ones are the remakes, and we rewatched them. Maybe we'll go one more. We'll go. So that one goes for 30 minutes, right? No, maybe we'll save that for next time because we've got that's like about an hour's worth, right? Right there. So just under 50 minutes. 50 minutes worth. And then it'll give us heaps of content. How long do these ones? This one was like 20 minutes, 28, 30. Yeah, about the same length. Okay. Yeah, watch it this time. That's a 30-minute whopper. That's huge. That's huge. Yeah, I'm loving it so far. It has problems, won't lie. But then we haven't found an analog horror with no problems yet, have we? Even like, the goats like Mandela have heaps of problems, But yes, in general I think the remakes are pretty good. Almost all hits. Elections it is again one of my favorite analog horror videos, like ever. I think it's just awesome. Interesting lore that's sort of slow, even though it's like, oh, it's a cult that's taken over the world. It's like, okay, we get it. It's not super interesting what's happening so far. Maybe there'll be some curveballs in these other episodes. But the plot is still very sort of simple so far. You've got some weird awake disease. You've got cult sacrifices. You've got the cult. So that's not like super unique, but it is very solid. The way it's played out so far has been very solid, and that's all you need. That doesn't make it bad. That it's not super unique. I think it's such a banger. I really appreciate the episodes that take their time to explain the lore and aren't there only for scares. Yeah, like I think it's fine, if not good, for analog horror to be able to have an episode that's like, okay, there's not many scares here. We're just gonna do some fat lore drops, and it's like, okay. And there's still some spooky stuff, but it's not like horror, right? Scares aren't top notch, but the tone is nailed and dripping with juice. It's my favorite series in general. It's only going to be better from here on. Yeah, you're right. It's not super scary, is it? There's no moments like going back to Mandela. There's no moments where it's like, oh fuck, this is awful. I would hate to be in this situation. It's tried, but it hasn't landed yet. Like at the end of medical studies, when there's like this thing. I think the issue is, right? I think there's two issues here. Hang on, where is it? I think there's two issues here. I don't know what the threat of this thing is. Like, what's the threat of this thing? Like, what does it do to me? If I get caught in a room with this guy, what happens to me, right? It's not scary on a personal level. And visually, it's not scary as well. Like, I'm not freaked out looking at this dude, at this picture right now. I should be terrified looking at this picture, but I'm not. And so I think there's the two issues there as to why some of these scares aren't landing, because it's like, why is, like, what can this thing do to me? It doesn't look scary, and I don't know what it does. The cult, like the cult is much scarier because you know what they're going to do to you. They're going to murder your family and, sacrifice you to Satan, right? But those guys, I was like, well, what's going on here? I don't know. And you can still make it scary even when you don't know what's happening with it. So, like, going back to Mandela, the alternates are scary, even though you don't know what they're going to do, like what their grand plan is. You don't know what their grand plan is. You don't know what they are, but they're still scary on a personal level because they're going to murder you, and it's going to be horrible, and you know that's going to happen because we see it happen, right? Or we get enough information to know that it's happening. And with this guy, it's like, okay, so is that scary? No, because I don't know why. And again, that is an early episode too. So we might find that out more, but you can still drop that in, right? You can say, like, why are these dudes a threat? Like, why is this a guy a living statue? Like, what's going on here? Or like, why are the living statues a threat? Like, what's bad about them? Is there anything bad about them? So far, we've been told that there's not. We've actually been told that there's nothing bad about the living statues because they're just living statues and they just hold them for study. So it's a bit, I don't know. But I am enjoying it so far. I think it's got cool moments. Yeah. Yeah. Super biased to the infographics. Yeah, I think infographics are so hit or miss. I think it's really hard to get a hit. And they weren't bad, so they didn't detract in this one. But I think they're just good for info dumps, infographics. I think it's very hard to make them scary. And I don't know if there is any of them that I think would actually be scary. I don't recall any off the top of my head that might be scary. Maybe the old Gemini one, where it's like, do your duty. That was kind of a little freaky, but even then not super scary, So I just know to watch out for sinkholes so I don't discover underground cult layers. Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm really enjoying it. So that's the thing, right? A lot of analog horror. Let's see, there's multiple things, right? There's the lore, there's the scares, and then there's the hype moments and aura, right? This one is getting pretty good with the hype moments and aura. The lore is pretty solid. The scares just aren't quite there yet. There are some. So this one, Medical Studies, the original, is the one I prefer. The scare with the cult, that was good. That was good. I love this. I really like this. Was there... So I think it was... The tape wasn't bad. Where was that tape moment? So this wasn't bad. This wasn't bad. How it stayed on that for a while in the first one. Oh, quiet, I'm talking. So I didn't mind this one, actually, to be honest. And is it this one with the tape? Wasn't bad. Yeah, this was alright.
I don't know how much time I had left, but I'm the origin of watching me.
He looked like getting fucking murdered. Well, he actually wasn't killed, but yeah, that wasn't bad. There's a certain X factor when it comes to iconic moments that I don't think you can explain pretty easily. Like how Mandela has a lot of iconic moments. It's difficult to do iconic moments like that, right? That's all hype moments and aura, right? That's why I like Elections, because this final part here is an iconic moment, where he blows his fucking brains out. That's a great shot and a great moment with the music blasting. I love it. It was awesome. That's why I like the sacrifice in Medical Studies too, because that was iconic-esque. It didn't quite. It could be a little better, but I thought it was like almost there, right? This one is awesome scene. And that's hard to do, and I think that's sort of what helps sell a lot of analog horror, is having moments that are really cool like that. Unique, cool little moments, Like, it's shocking that a guy blew his fucking brains out and then the music blasted. That was great. Yeah, and like the cassette tape and relying on the audio, that was a really cool scene. But so there's more and more cool scenes coming into this, and I think that at a certain point, I think that you could get some really, really cool iconic scenes. That's why I'm really excited to watch these ones. I would watch them now. I'm just exhausted. Coming up to 6-hour stream. So I think these could be pretty cool. So I'm pretty hyped for them, to be honest. So we'll do that next week. Oh, stretch. Okay, guys. Okay, we'll finish up the YouTube video first, huh? All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. So we were watching The Baroque Hour, and of course, when you're watching on YouTube, the link is down in the description. So make sure to go and subscribe. I'm on my alt account. I don't subscribe to anything on my alt account, so that's on my main account. I am subscribed. Make sure to go subscribe. Give them some love. Watch their stuff. You know how good it is. We just watched it. Yes, give them some love so they make more of this, because I want more Orpheus. I really want more Orpheus. This is my favorite. Probably, is it my favorite? Well, it's up there. It's top 5 unknown analog horror. It's very good, very good, and it's got some fantastic moments. So give them some love. And thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Morley Doog. You've been watching Mythonics Live. And remember, you're never alone in the dark.